What is going on, guys? We are back in another DSP video, and my god, he had a mental breakdown today over Detractors. So we start off before the pre-stream here. There was a channel on YouTube called Who Are These Podcasts with 24k subscribers who made an episode about Darkside Phil, and the description of their video says the following: Darkside Phil is one of the internet's biggest e-bagging losers. He filed bankruptcy after years of purchasing video games and not paying any bills. Only in America. He's still begging for money online and barely getting by. Maybe it's time to try something else. Then, after June the King got in touch with Piece of Peace over his tip tracking sheet, June put this out. I'm ready to hand off the DSP video to my editors. The rough release date is sometime this fall or possibly later. I don't want to set a deadline. This means I'll be working on different videos between then and checking on Phil from time to time. Then how does DSP start his pre-stream? That is right, complaining about Helldivers 2 and complaining that no one's supporting. He even said, I'm tired of the bullshit excuses why no one's watching the videos, why no one's supporting. I want real answers. And he went off on his audience. So we have this from Poland's Future. Phil tells his audience, yet again, that they are the fault this channel has dead playthings.
First stream, Helldivers 2. 3 hours of online play, trying to learn the game better, level up, get more weapons, get more armor, get more stratagems, everything that you earn by playing the game, hoping to unlock a bunch of new stuff, and have a good time. So, it should be a good time. I hope, for those of you who wanted to see me play Helldivers 2, and now that I'm finally playing it, I certainly hope you're going to actually come to the streams and engage and support, and I hope you'll watch the videos on demand after the fact. And the reason I say that, for 2 months straight, people asked for it. I said, all right, we're finally done with RPGs, and now I'm listening to you. Let's play it. And then I play it, and the first major stream that I actually did of it the other day, it didn't do that great. It was actually kind of an okay average stream, but the videos on after the fact weren't that good views-wise, and I'm like, well, what happened? Oh, you played it too late. Bullshit. Number one, it's a fucking multiplayer game. Okay? It's a multiplayer game. It's not like the narrative was spoiled 2 months ago. It's a fucking multiplayer game. You can play it whenever you want. It's the same game. It didn't change because I played it 2 months ago versus now. So that's number one. Okay? Number two, I needed to finish the RPGs we were playing, and you knew that. I explained to you guys there's no way I could jump into a game like that when I need to focus and finish what we were doing. I finished what we were doing, I listened to your feedback, and immediately within a week, we were playing Helldivers 2. So, bullshit. Here's what it is. People jump on virally popular games for stupid reasons. And then, oh my god, the viral popularity kind of died out. Well, I'm not interested anymore. But then why did you ask me to play it for 2 straight months? Why were you still asking me to play it last week, which is why I started to play it? It doesn't make sense. It's bullshit. And I don't like these excuses that it's somehow always on me, because it's not. The truth is, these games are virally popular because they're virally popular. Just like a YouTuber all of a sudden explodes. Why is that YouTuber so popular? I don't know. Everyone watches them. See? It's bullshit. So, people buy into bullshit. And the thing is, I'm not saying Helldivers 2 is a bad game. It's not. It's actually a very good game. But people asking me to play a virally popular game, and I'm telling you, it ain't gonna work. It's not my style of game. It's all co-op. I'm not gonna have a set team, nor am I ever gonna have a set team. It's for me to just play it casually like I do all other multiplayer games. Oh, no, you should still play it. You're still gonna love it. All right. You know, it's like, well, so who's really at fault here? Right? You were expecting the world. Like, I was gonna play this game, and it was gonna be magically, virally, huge hit. It's not. It's like every other fucking game I play. The game is good. It's decent. It's fun to play. I'm learning, I'm getting better, but no, we're not going to get ginormous amounts of traction with this game. Oh, well, it's boring. You played it 2 months too late. Then don't ask for it. If literally this is the kind of game that the only time you think it'll ever be interesting is when it's new, then don't fucking bother me for 2 months asking for it. Really. And it's time for people to start with this, stop the bullshit now, because I love it that it's always my fault. So Phil did something horribly wrong. He waited 2 months to play Helldivers. I was in the middle of a million RPGs and everyone knew that. I said, once I finish the RPGs, we'll be freed up to do whatever you want. I warned people this was going to happen with RPG Overload, which I started talking about in January before the games even hit. But no one listens.
First off, Phil, you're the one that owns and runs this channel. You should be making all the decisions as far as what you play, what you don't play, what you skip. not your audience. You have to rely on your audience for every single decision you make for the business. And then when it doesn't work out, you blame them. Remember what you said about EA and Ubisoft and all those other companies? Is that it's the people at the top making those decisions that are the problem. They should be fired. Well, Phil, there's a lot of projection right there. And the fact that you are one of the worst people to make decisions for yourself as well. You chose to speedrun at the very end of Baldur's Gate 3. You chose to fully play Like a Dragon. People are asking you to play Helldivers and Stellar Blade and do it like a Game Pass night. You kept saying, no, 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 we have to play Like a Dragon. And the support dropped off. And all you do is yell, demean, and put down your audience until they're beaten into submission and do what they're told and give you money. That is not a long-term strategy for you, Phil. Especially when OIC and 1 Minute Cuck are gone, your whole online presence is pretty much done at that point. Then he went on to his review of the Fallout TV show where he said it's universally praised, everyone's enjoying it. That's not quite true, Phil. I've heard a lot of people not liking it. But of course, Phil is the king. What he says goes. He's the common man in his mind. So we have Theo. DSP's review or impression of Fallout is exactly the type of consumer shit CEOs aim for. He literally said basically, dude, they showed VATS and I clapped. And then Poems adds on, they did things like that look like the video game, and I like that because I notice it and nobody else will who hasn't played the games. That's basically it. And then another longtime fan supposedly left a comment for Phil about his Detractors and the documentary, and it set off the wildest rant so far this year. So we got Poems. DSP gets another fan message that just happens to confirm everything he's ever said and decides to read it again while trying to play dumb about how much he knows.
The majority of the detractors don't hate you for any real reason. They just monetize their videos. Duty made videos about Wings of Redemption before he ever came to you. And he was bullied out by the other Wings detractors. So he stopped and started making them about you. It's literally just for money for most of these big ones, and YouTube stopped them. If YouTube had stopped them from monetizing this crap, they would go do something else. The majority of the videos are your new content from today, with clips from years and years ago spliced in everywhere to try to create a false narrative. They don't care about anything at this point but making money, and they will fabricate stuff just to keep their money rolling in. Let's continue. The original detractors were actually just a bunch of crazy and obsessed people who were fanboys of Kojima. You kept saying bad stuff about Hideo Kojima while playing Metal Gear Solid, and that made them get really mad. They're all long gone now and probably on heavy medication of some sort at this point. Again, this is a comment on my video. I'm not saying this. This is me reading a comment, okay? It's literally 90% money-based now. They just never really made a career out of it. It would have mostly died out if not for that. Duty and the other spam uploaders make thousands of dollars a month doing this kind of content. More than they ever would have done doing anything else because they're all untalented morons. They treat making content about you like some people upload clips of their family or of the movie Frozen. I don't get that. I guess what they're saying is like obsession. Like, I upload all the content about my family. Oh, I'm the biggest fan of Frozen. Well, I'm the biggest hater of Darkside Phil. Monetize that shit. I guess that's what he's trying to say. Let's continue. Most of the detractors are far more racist and sexist and anything else than anything you ever did. It's not valid hate. Now, before I continue, I'm just going to say something right now. Those people who claim that they hate me because of things that I say and do, the things they say and do are far more vile. You have no idea. Like, no exaggeration, and this is me from my understanding. They call people who are fans of me or supporters of me Dents. Okay? Do you know what that means? Do you know where that comes from? They're basically saying that when you were a child, someone dropped you on your head and you have a malformed skull because of it, a dented head, and you have like brain damage. This is a common term they use in their community. They're making fun of brain damaged people, and like, that's fine. That's totally acceptable. Oh, but if Phil says that someone's a mouth drooler because they mash playing a fighting game, that's not acceptable. Correct? But they have a literal term they use in every piece of their content, and that's acceptable, saying people have brain damage. What? No, it's not only hypocritical, it's worse than what I do. Worse. But they're okay doing it because they're making fun of me. Get it? It's not, it's insanely hypocritical. It's 100% fucked up, the way that they do it. Yeah, that's true. Oh, this is absolutely true. Dax Magain, or Dax again, I don't know how to say your name. They also say people are wheelchairs, meaning they're handicapped. Yes, because we all know that the only people who watch my content must be handicapped. That's why they do it, right? Like, what? And even if they were handicapped, who cares? That's insanely offensive and discriminatory. Who cares? I don't care who you are or where you are in your life. If you're handicapped or not, who cares? You can't watch someone on the internet and like their content? What are you talking about? You see how messed up this is? And that's their community. That's how they talk in their community. But that, I'm worse somehow. How am I worse than that? That's 10 times worse than what I say. You just want to pretend that their hate is valid so that it sounds valid. You could make yourself into a perfect angel in every way. They would still hate you. They would not miss a beat because this is now their job. Okay? As for their viewers, they find it funny to consume this stuff, and they have turned it into a daily routine, and the comments are all about money and not being good at games. It's mostly people who are jealous that you make money being a streamer, and they can't. Most of the restreamers literally are just failed streamers. They can only get any attention or make any money if they upload your content. They try to make their own content sometimes, and they get single-digit views on it. If you make yourself super clean and super boring, they're just gonna paste in clips from your past and magnify tiny things to push a narrative, because that's their job at this point, and that's what makes it work. Being super clean and boring is not gonna stop them. It will just make your content boring for the people who like you and support it. This is why people say the meme words, because you said something 6 years or so ago, and that's something that's detractors still splice into their videos daily. The thing these guys hate is any possibility of this gravy train that they're on ending. So if they see you do anything that they think might actually improve your public perception, they're going to try to counter it. Okay? If they thought that a documentary would come out that would actually see you in a positive light, and it might change how some people see you on the internet and actually attack the creators of like the detractor stuff, well, they're going to try to get you not to do that, and even give you money to try to convince you not to do it. These people are just protecting their careers at this point. They even copyright strike each other, and they have their own turf wars, and then they blame you for it because they try to get the competition out of the picture because of their money. They're just a bunch of parasites clawing at each other to try to take money from you. They're like hot dog sellers clamoring around a stadium. You have no idea. I'm continuing. This is all one comment. You have no idea how sad the detractor community actually is. You think it's legit and has some foundation to it. No, it's actually just really stupid. If you were a woman, none of this would have happened. It would have ended long ago because it's unacceptable in the current climate to do this to a woman. However, because you're a guy, YouTube allows this to happen. If it were some way that you could get in touch with YouTube and get them to actually look into, ban, and demonetize this as bullying content, which it all is, by the way. I know you'll choose to ignore it, but most of it is totally against YouTube's terms of service. It would all end. The hard part is making them do this because you are a man and there is no real PR hit for it. If they allowed this to happen to a woman, YouTube would look bad. But because I'm a guy, they allow it to happen and even promote it and let it be monetized.
Man, this year is wild so far. Last video, he admitted to being racist, the mobile game spending, and saying it's not that bad even if it's true. Today, he admits his fans are dents and wheelchairs. And it's funny how that person talks exactly like Phil. Remember all those fan emails he gets that has his speech pattern in it? Quite funny how that is, isn't it? I love how he says the SOK only got mad at him because he talked shit about Kojima. No, it was named Kojima because of how up your ass you were about him, but the whole concept of SOK was to show how much of a douchebag you are. Of course, in the end, Fred Fox and some of the other ones absolutely turned out to be scumbags, but that's a different story for a different day. And then it just dawned on me, the whole last section about because he's a man, nothing's gonna happen, but if he was a woman, something would happen. It's almost like he's been trying to become a woman, you know, with the Hillary Clinton costume, wearing the cardigans, the women's clothing. It's almost like he wants to be seen as a woman. We got this from David Davidson. So anyways, Phil decided to read a comment out about his detractors to bring up drama about detractors, and then he can just say, I was just reading what someone else wrote. It's 100% bait. Yeah, in the last video, he was saying how I don't even know who my detractors are, I don't know who the trolls are. But in this video, he names Tevin and Duty Streams and a few others. He even says the videos are recommended to him. He talks about how he sees it on Twitter, but he doesn't know who they are. And the funniest thing is, anytime he talks about detractors, he goes, I never bring it up. I never give them that attention, because that's what they want. They want attention, and I'm not giving them attention. As he's going on a 40-minute rant about detractors. And then he started talking about the documentary, and this is all one big rant, by the way. The documentary purpose was to show a different side of me, and show the hate against me is unwarranted. Yeah, he was saying how he wants to see a documentary about how crazy the detractor community is, and how they slander and defame him on a daily basis. The documentary did make sense because it wasn't the right time for it. At what point is it the right time to prove this, Phil? And we got Theo. DSP is now mocking trolls for being fail streamers. I'm crying, dude. This is insane. I am speechless. I can't even form my thoughts. Holy shit, this is insane. I got David. Phil thinks the SOK was the better detractor group now. LOL. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, they said they only came together because they had criticism. They wanted to see Phil do better, and they wanted him to improve. And he said that's why they were better. And I took some lessons from the SOK and I improved my content. No, Phil, you didn't. You gloated all over them and you became worse. So when you didn't have an enemy like the SOK, you became more cocky, more arrogant, more toxic, and more of an a-hole. And then if anyone knows about his Ivy League school stories about how he couldn't get into Harvard and Ivy League schools because he was, quote, not rich or a minority and they don't let white people in. He went on a huge rant, even more than what we saw, about protected groups and how as a white male, he is the most suppressed group on the planet. So we got this from Good Chemicals. DSP claims his status as a white male has left him as the most vulnerable group online, and therefore YouTube will not protect him from people reacting to his content. Yeah, and what Phil doesn't realize is most of these videos are just clipped from Phil's videos. So it's Phil talking about Phil. So it's slander and defamation, but it's you saying the words Phil. Okay, there. And his whole concept that it's slander, defamation, but it's people criticizing you, pointing things out. Of course, anytime someone says anything bad about you, you automatically think troll, detractor, defamation, slander. Because the only criticism you like, Phil, is when they're kissing your ass. And of course, that's not even criticism. And then we have Meow Blocked talking about when Phil talked about his fans being dented. DSP saying things along the lines of, who cares if my fans are that way anyway? Mentally underdeveloped / special needs / etc. To me, this is some of the most messed up shit he says because he's outright confirming he doesn't give a fuck if he begs these people to give him money. Just imagine how Jade feels hearing him talk like that. Then he went on a rant about side scrollers, setting him up, stabbing him in the back. It was an inside job. And keep in mind, this is still one whole big rant going on. In an other place, I love how DSP complains that side scrollers are doing political stuff now. Well, he wants to do exactly that. DS politics. Then he went on to say how if he could, he would hire a lawyer, sue YouTube, sue all the detractor channels. He said he could if he wanted to flag all the videos, but he'd have to get a lawyer and this and that. Then someone suggested, why don't you just copyright claim them and take all the ad revenue money? And he said, oh, you had to get a lawyer to do that and blah blah blah. And then he said something really dumb. DSP said, on a daily basis, they're committed slander or defamation. I don't know which one. So you're accusing people of doing stuff when you don't even know the definition of it. And you don't even know which is which. 16-year content creator, ladies and gentlemen. We got poems. Philip, it isn't slander to show your own words to people without your permission. Likewise, it's not slander to have an opinion about you and share it with others. Yeah, because he was talking about how YouTube and other platforms should enforce their rules and shut down all detractor channels. But Phil, you don't get it. Even if all the detractor channels get shut down, you're still going to have people like Moist Critical, people like Muda, you know, the bigger people still talking about you. Because they can see right through you, all your illusions, your smoke and mirrors. The only people that can't are the people as you described as wheelchairs and dents. We got David Davidson. Holy shit, Phil is taking the comment seriously that, 1, we are making thousands of dollars per month on Phil. 2, we have no real reason to hate on Phil except for the money. Oh, trust me, there's so many reasons to hate on Phil. 3, every single detractor was a former failed streamer. Then In and Outer Place makes a very good factual observation here. DSP issues with people he frequently mentions. Keemstar makes money. Side scrollers made money from the interview. Rambo and Howard wanted money. Detractors make money, apparently. It's almost as if there's a common theme. And we got this here. Detractors. Stop giving Phil money when he asks for it. He's going to piss it away on WWE Champions. Phil. Every one of these people are in it to make money talking about me. Anyways, if you like these streams, please consider supporting. And we got Theo. Dude, get this. DSP cried how he can't report channels for being bullies since he's a white male. Then says he won't do that because he's a tougher guy who won't sink to that level. Dude, then why cry about being a white male? And then we have this super chat. By the way, don't give him any money. You want real salt. Make sure there's no tips, no support, and the real Phil will come out. Mav Strike. If the trolls are a problem, why not hop off the internet secretly and get a normal job? And then Phil went on to a huge rant talking about how he'd have to get 2 or 3 jobs just to support his family, and that there's no full-time jobs available. The government's lying about all the jobs available. Talk about how there's no good benefits from jobs. He'd have to work at a retail like McDonald's or Walmart. Now keep in mind, in Seattle, minimum wage is around $20 an hour. It's $19.97. And in June or July, in Renton, so the city he lives in, is going up to $20 an hour. So he could technically work in the day and stream at night, so he can make $20 an hour in the day, get his super chats, get his memberships at night. But of course, that's too much work for Phil. And we have this here, good chemicals. According to DSP, the US government is only making Uber Eats style jobs. DSP would need 3 jobs to support his family. Americans can no longer find full-time jobs. America is financially broken because of the government. No proof / theory shared. I wonder how anyone can afford to tip him.
Then on top of that, Mav, I get the feeling you obviously don't know what it really is like out there in the real world. There is no overabundance of high-paying great jobs out there at all. It doesn't exist. Although our government in the United States would like to act like there is, there's not. We created all these jobs. Yeah, what jobs did you create? Walmart, McDonald's, Uber Eats, you know, jobs that are part-time. You're scraping by to even make enough to make a living. These are not careers. These are not good jobs for people who can build up and support a family at all. These are, you know what I mean? This is what our government has created for us. A service-based economy that's terrible. And it's hard to hold a job. It's hard to find a job where you can get health care. It's trash. You know, I would literally, no exaggeration, would probably have to hold 2 to 3 part-time jobs, because no one would hire me full-time, because that doesn't even happen anymore. I'd have to have 2 to 3 part-time jobs, juggling them constantly, sometimes probably working more than one job a day to try to make ends meet. That's how it is in America right now. Things could change. It'd be great if they did, but that's the reality we're all living in. It ain't the rainbows and unicorns that the news likes to spread. Oh, didn't you know that more jobs were created? Yeah, what kind of jobs exactly? What kind of hours at those jobs? Please give us information on the jobs that are being created rather than just saying jobs, because that doesn't mean anything. But that's what our news would never tell you. And again, that is political, but it's just truthful. If I were to stop doing this for a living and try to go out there and get a job, I could do it right now. I could go work for any fucking retail job, any restaurant. I could just go right out there right now and work these jobs, and I would bust my ass and not make as much money and make a living that I do now. There's no point. America is broken right now. America needs to be fixed. Okay?
I absolutely love that a guy who hasn't worked for 16 years, doesn't know the job market, doesn't know what's going on, told someone else to start living in the real world. Now we have poems with the list of excuses from Darkside Phil. 2015 to 2019, why he couldn't get a job. The economy is bad. 2019, no jobs in my sector. 2022, no job will pay me what I make now. 2024, America is broken. So this one is going back to when he called his fans Dents. Try to shame detractors by saying they call his fans Dents because that's derogatory. Calls people mental midgets and mouth droolers while telling them to get their heads checked out, and have the white coats take them away because you're upset over video games. And then this is a follow-up to it. DSP makes a dented voice minutes after claiming that any reference to someone's head dent is a slur.
Because they're dumb fucks. These people don't want to take 5 minutes to learn about reality. They just want to hear the meme, laugh at it, and roll with it. A common consciousness. We all get the meme, right? What's the truth of the meme? What's the funny part of the meme? I don't care. We just laugh. I acknowledge it. DSP is bad, so I laugh now. It's like Barney the dinosaur.
Then in a moment where you can tell he's the least self-aware person you've ever seen, and he lives in a detached reality inside his head, we have Kramer II. I dare you not to laugh at this statement Phil just made. I was one of the highest and most positively regarded gaming YouTubers. Oh, you're definitely regarded, Phil.
The hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Says, a dollar tipper. Well, yeah. Again, I used to be one of the highest, most positively regarded gaming YouTubers. And then somehow, doing literally exactly the same thing that I have done for years and years and years, I became the villain. Even though I didn't change. Right? Kirk did another dollar.
Just so you know, Phil, people didn't turn on you. They've always hated you. You were always toxic. Always a douche. Always an asshole. People just became more vocal about it. Then we get to Street Fighter 6. And my god, what a meltdown. So he kept being mashed up with what he calls trolls and detractors. And then he kept backing out. And when you do that so many times, you get penalized by the game. And they put you in low priority cube mode, which makes it harder to find a game. And then we have this clip here. Why are you treating me like everyone else? I'm special.
Me that I didn't want to play the game and be bullied as I played it, right? Like I actually wanted to enjoy your fighting game and not be bullied by people because you have an open name system, right? Excuse me for not putting myself into an abused environment while playing your video game online. I wasn't aware that was my fault, right? That I made the game like that. Oops.
And of course, when something happens in-game, it's always the dev's fault. And no different than Street Fighter 6. DSP is now trying to talk directly to Capcom through his stream to fix his issue because he's been abused and they are hurting the wrong person. He had to quit all those matches, dunces. And this one just has the caption, "Fire him."
Well, I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? I can't fix this unless what they should do. They should have like a 30-minute time limit on it, or it should be based off of all of your wins and losses together and matches, not based off of, oh, your recent performance. Because what if there's a day when your internet's fucked up and you're trying to play and your internet keeps going out? You're like, I didn't know my internet was messed up today. You get punished for that? No, it should be based on overall. If you've played thousands upon thousands of matches and you disconnected from 3, it should not punish you like this. This is completely stupidity. It's dunce level game development, and whoever made this decision should be fired. It's stupid. It doesn't make any fucking sense. There's a difference if someone habitually is quitting out of matches versus someone quit out of 3 matches out of 7,000. It's moronic. That doesn't make any sense at all.
So you heard that right. Phil broke the rules in the game, and the person that put those rules in should be fired. Because you know, DSP is the eternal victim. He did nothing wrong. He did everything correct. It's always someone else's fault. And I thought this was funny. It's his WWE Champions mode coming out in him. A 2-bar player shows up on screen for a match. DSP. Oh, a 2-star player, huh? So this is hilarious. This is when he found out he had been flagged for low priority. DSP has been yellow carded for quitting out of so many matches this week, and as a result, can no longer get matches in casual play as a result. He is now attempting to smurf on different characters to avoid the flag, which didn't work. He also got flagged for a little bit in ranked play as well. Okay, so as you can see in the bottom right corner, he's got his yellow flag there, showing that he's been flagged.
That's hilarious. Someone says that yellow card does mean that you're in low priority for the queue. So literally within the thousands upon thousands of matches that I have played in this game, I've disconnected 3 times, all to trolls who are either playing completely unprofessionally, like teabagging, or having names that were insulting to me and my family. And so I black out of those matches, and now I'm in the bad priority queue, even though I've done it 3 times in 10 months the game's been out, and the thousands upon thousands of matches I've played. Wow, Capcom knows what they're doing, huh? Capcom really knows what the fuck they're doing, right? That's pretty impressively bad and stupid. I think Capcom should get fucked. What a bunch of morons. Hey, Capcom, why don't you actually watch a fucking stream to see the kind of shit that the idiotic trolls do on streams of your game before you do a blanket practice that's a fucking stupid and punishes the wrong people?
So there we have a direct message from DSP to Capcom. Get fucked! And then Phil Burnell, the man with the very intelligent brain, thinks that when you block someone on Street Fighter 6, that it automatically IP bans them. Just wow. Then we have JG Win. DSP had a spoiled child tantrum moment, saying he wanted a refund for Street Fighter 6 for being punished for disconnected. This is also after making 8,651 in tips alone before tonight's stream since the official release in June of their game. Just take the L sometimes, DSP. Yeah, so when he got flagged, he said, "This is bullshit. I better get a refund for this." Yeah, after all the hours and months that you put into it, yeah, they're definitely going to give you a refund for you breaking their rules. The eternal victim, everyone. And of course, support just wasn't there. Of course, we had our Jax Cuckster tip of $25. We have poems begging people to start tipping for Street Fighter 6 so it isn't just Jax every week. And then what were some of these most offensive names that he had to ban? Well, we have Leanna was hotter. We had Leanna was 16. And of course, we have Raptors 1651. Just beautiful. So hope you guys like that. Click that like, share the video, leave a comment below, hit subscribe to my other channels on the details of the end cards. And as always, I love each and every one of you. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. Peace and love.